So, part of preparing for this hearing, I had to look through your criminal past. It brought up a big question for me. Uh, do you feel like you're a child sexual predator?
No,
Why not?
because I had numerous times on my parole, I had numerous chances to do all that sexual predator stuff, but I chose not to do it. I chose to divert from that to different areas.
Some of you might recognize that face, Herbert from Family Guy. And the reason that I place it there is that this particular offender, he deserves it. And so does the state of Utah. I try not to make a mockery of the system because this is no laughing matter. But when you find out that he was given probation for the crimes that he committed, and then he violates that probation not once, not twice, not three, not four, but 5 times until they finally locked him up. And then he is given parole 3 times and violated each time. This will be his 4th opportunity at parole. And yet the state of Utah continues to release him time and time again. We are going to listen in this parole hearing to all the different violations, the insanity of it, and we'll also do a face reveal. With that, let's jump in.
Okay. So you're here today because you had your date yanked for disciplinary reason, for communicating with female offenders in the next section. Why were you doing that?
I was writing to them looking for a pen pal. So when I get out or one of us do get out, we could write each other back and forth, communicate, just find more information about each other so we could become friends. And that's about it. And on top of that, I got, well, I got caught passing notes for me and 2 other individuals. But for me, for myself, I was looking for friends to communicate when I do get out or when they get out, so we could write letters back and forth to each other, so we could get to know more of each other, so we could become friends out there in the streets and associate more.
All right. You haven't had any disciplinaries up until now. Why is that? Why did you wait until you're about ready to parole to get in trouble?
I was trying to, I don't know, I got offered, not offered, I don't know, I was trying to fit in with the other crowds to make myself look better, to fit in.
Which other crowds?
Mhm.
Which other crowds? Sir?
What?
What other crowds? Who are you trying to fit in with?
What was I trying to do?
No. Who were you trying to fit in with?
Oh, the inmates at the time.
Were they also writing to the females?
Yeah.
So, part of preparing for this hearing, I had to look through your criminal past. It brought up a big question for me. Do you feel like you're a child sexual predator?
No,
Why not?
because I had numerous times on my parole, I had numerous chances to do all that sexual predator stuff, but I chose not to do it. I chose to divert from that to different areas of a problematic situation, like financially getting myself in trouble and harassing my ex on my third PV.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't do very well because I didn't think about myself. I thought about worried about everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been told not to do that. I need to worry about myself only, nobody else.
That's good
Oh.
advice.
Yeah. I didn't follow through on that advice though, which I regret for not listening.
You were sentenced to jail, then put on probation. You had your probation revoked 5 times before being sent to prison. You have been on parole 3 times and it was revoked each time. Why is that?
Probation wise, on the first time, I lost my rights to parole to the streets because I didn't have a stable environmental structure address at the time. So they placed me at a halfway house until I could financially support myself to afford a place of my own and attend the program. But at the halfway house at the time, I didn't complete the program because I didn't get my full assignments given to me completely. I was missing a page in one of the assignments. I think it was module 2, I think it was, in the old program, of the Alpha Counseling program. But after that, it was based on the program I didn't complete. And then parole, the first parole was a no contact order with my victim. And what happened was I thought about the consequences and the repercussions and the suffering, all this and that between of us. I was gonna let her know, thank you for putting me in prison. I hope one day you could forgive me because I'm sorry and I apologize for harming you. And it wasn't right for me to do such thing. A friend, not even an acquaintance, should even do that or should be capable of doing it. And that's what got me put back in prison for violating my first parole agreement. And then my second one was to not having enough finances saved up. I went back to prison on the second violation for being in a financial crisis. And the third one came back on porn and harassing my ex about guys getting out of prison. And she was supposed to go meet up a guy out in California that was supposed to be get out of prison there. But I told her, I'm gonna be blunt, I'm gonna be honest, and I'm gonna give you the whole yard about it. Being an adult, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it and treat you like a kid, saying these guys are not cool, these guys are inappropriate. I told her straight up blunt, all honest and all that. And I got harassed for it.
So you signed a parole agreement stating that you're not supposed to have contact with the victim. You've got sex offender conditions. Were you confused by that, or did you choose just to go ahead and violate anyways?
On the first one, I chose to do that one on the first parole violation, which was not cool.
Okay. What do you need to do to have long-term success on this parole?
Don't contact nobody under the age of 18 and don't have no contact with the victims. and just worry about myself only, and worry about myself. And listen to the advices that's been given to me instead of ignoring them.
Are you gonna be able to do all of them?
Yes.
All right.
And on top of that, when I do parole, if the opportunity comes open-handed of a chance to parole this time, I do have a job lined up with Amazon out in out in Salt Lake City, working with my dad, probably on a production line somewhere. And I have therapy all set up in that. They told me I had to wait to be put on the intake list to be accepted in the alpha counseling, but they want to wait till I get out to hear my voice first to know that I'm actually out.
Okay.
Get that
Where,
ready to
where will you be living?
Salt Lake.
Who
Outfit.
with? Living?
Salt Lake.
Who
Outfit.
with?
Bonneville at the halfway house.
Okay. So I see that you completed SOTP earlier this year, is that right?
The relapse prevention program, yes.
Okay. So overall, your behavior, how do you control that?
How do I control it?
Mm-hmm.
If it involves with a sexual desire, I go for my sister and ask her for help, or somebody that I know that I could trust to help me with it. What I could do to keep us still self-distracted. Excuse me. Like, if my sister's not there, I go to my dad. If my dad doesn't go there, I go to my stepmom, which she's back in Thailand now. But if none of those people are available for help, I go to the closest friends I have. If they don't help, I set up a meeting with my therapist, a one-on-one session, if she's available at that time when I'm in crisis.
Do you think you'd want to contact your therapist a little bit sooner than all the way down the line there?
If it progresses really worse, yes.
Okay. All right. So your discharge summary in June of 2024 says that you're an above average risk to reoffend sexually. What does that mean to you?
Depends how they define it, like physically and visually sexually offend. Like I could go out pretty much physically I go out and rape anybody. Young, from the infant to the oldest to the elderly people. And then the other one is where I could go on the phone or on a computer and look up a porn and commit a sexual act right there.
Are you saying what are you saying exactly about that?
Means it's not like I'm gonna go out and do it right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not like I'm gonna go out and do it right off the bat. Cause I had multiple chances to actually sexually reoffend physically, but I never chose to actually sexualize the victim on any of my paroles.
And what did you say about being online? What did you mean by that?
Like being online, like looking at porn.
Okay, so that would be preferable.
No.
Okay,
Only good look at porn. No.
all right. Do you have any questions for me?
No, not to my knowledge, I do not.
I'll let you know I'm able to do that because Sir Richard puts it all in the spreadsheet, and they granted parole. Of course they did. What is this? This is his what? Is it his fourth chance of parole? So he's failed probation 5 times, failed parole 3. They're giving him a 4. Now he was originally convicted on 8/8/2014 of 2 counts of SA of a child, and then he has all of those violations. And it's really just crazy how many times they give him chance after chance after chance. Can you imagine having to be the unfortunate person involved with his life, and for him to actually be to say things like, well, I was reaching out to her for this and I was telling her to do that and she was doing this, and it just it's unreal. But they released him immediately. He's out and about, and walking around. They don't talk about the original crime because this is like a rehearing. They only do that in the original hearings. But I can go through the whole process of you if you're curious about that. Then also let me know in the comment section how you feel about me putting the face over him for the hearing. I know some of you might feel very strongly about it. Some of you might feel it's acceptable. And I'm open to hearing it. It's not. I want to do the right thing here, but I just felt like he earned it. And also, it's just such a surprise when you do see his face. So it's just amazing how many times he's been revoked, and the way in which he's been revoked. You would think that at some time they would just say, no, you've got to do your whole bid. He got 2 15-year sentences to run at the same time. And his full term date is 2029, which is 5 years from now. His original parole hearing date was 2017 when he was granted. And since then, he had been revoked 3 times. And let's see how long it took for him to get revoked. It's hard for me to actually read these. Let's see. Okay, actually, I'm sorry. He was denied the first hearing. He was granted on November 25, 2021, and it looks like he had a warrant out for his arrest June 1st, 2021 for his first revocation. 9/8/2021, he had his first parole revocation hearing. And it looks like he was given leeway because they had no beds available, if I'm reading the notes correctly, if you think that's not crazy. Then he had another, so he must have not spent that much time out because I guess no beds available, because he had another parole revocation on 4/11/2022. And he was out again because it was only on 10/17/2022 they got another warrant. They imposed a 3-day jail section on that one, sanction. And then it was 1 month after that 3-day jail sanction that he got arrested again, November 7, 2022. And here they grant parole. They grant parole just in I don't know, in 2023. And then he got revoked sometime after that. Let's see, in 2023. He then gets revoked on 4/12/2023. Sorry, this was a little jumpy all over the place. It's the way that the information is shared, it's all combobbled. And then they grant 10/22/2024. So it literally it's like the whole thing's just a joke. You could see him going in and out, in and out, in and out, and I don't know. It's just children. It's just like clearly he needs to be locked up for a very long time. He's not, there's something wrong there, and he's a danger. You can hear him it's so evident to all of us who watch. But I guess they want to have the beds filled with people who are maybe breaking into cars or snatching purses. I'm really not sure. And with that, I'll let you go.
So part of preparing for this hearing, I had to look through your criminal past. It brought up a big question for me. Do you feel like you're a child sexual predator?
No,
Why not?
because I had numerous times on my parole, I had numerous chances to do all that sexual predator stuff, but I chose not to do it. I chose to divert from that to different areas.